Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the flagship program about oil and gas on Nigerian media. It's the Yuletide season transiting to the end of year and the beginning of a new year. Meanwhile, the ever so bustling industry shows no sign of slowing down or slumbering, let alone sleeping. The Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, unveils its Integrated Gas Handling Facility, IGHF, to bolster domestic gas penetration. And by the way, it's a final production for 2020. Our wishes and expectations are only about what might have been, but the activities and realities of the year are for us to contend with and reminisce about. The journey through the year for the oil and gas industry had been challenging, but maybe it's a little bit more interesting to travel down memory lane of 2020 as well as share a big volume of lessons learned and exigent best practices. We're sure going to need some lessons. Welcome to the program. I'm Akin Agbejule. This is Oil and Gas Forum.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC), Mele Kyari, and the entire staff wish Nigerians and the various stakeholders in the oil and gas industry a Merry Christmas. As petroleum product supplier of last resort, the NNPC wishes to assure you of adequate petroleum product supply to meet all your energy demands in the Yuletide and beyond. The NNPC holds a robust stock of premium motor spirit, PMS, dual-purpose kerosene, DPK, automotive gas oil, AGO, and aviation turbine kerosene, ATK, in her various strategic depots. The Nigeria State Oil Company advises all players in the oil and gas industry value chain and motorists alike to play according to the rules of the game and not to indulge in any sharp practice that will disrupt the seamless flow of petroleum products to various end users. NNPC wishes you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
NNPC, we touch your lives in many positive ways.
Nigeria's quest to attain effective utilization and commercialization of its massive gas resources received a major boost with the presidential commissioning of the over 200 million standard cubic feet per day capacity of Radio Integrated Gas Handling Facility, IGHF, and the liquefied petroleum gas LPG storage and dispensing unit in Ologbo, Edo State. The facility, which was inaugurated virtually by President Muhammadu Buhari, is wholly owned and constructed by the Nigeria Petroleum Development Company (NPDC), the upstream subsidiary of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC). The plant is designed as a waste-to-wealth facility that converts hitherto flared gas to valuable lean gas as liquefied petroleum gas LPG, which is also known as cooking gas, in line with the federal government's gas penetration agenda.
The Integrated Gas Handling Facility project will also support the ongoing drive towards providing alternative auto fuel under the Natural Gas Expansion Program initiative. I commend the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation for completing this project that is surely supportive of this administration's drive to bring prosperity and comfort to the Nigerian people.
Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timipre Silva, explained that the accomplishment of the project underscored the commitment of the NNPC to eliminating gas flare while increasing Nigeria's value realization from gas.
NNPC and its affiliates are clearly providing leadership in the industry by championing the hopes and aspirations of the Nigerian government towards aggressive gas sector investment to broaden and diversify Nigeria's energy mix for long-term development and sustainability.
Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Milikiari, informed that the facility is in two parts: the process cryogenic plant and the LPG propane storage and dispensing plant, with installed capacity to process over 200 million standard cubic feet of wet gas, about 85 million standard cubic feet of lean gas, 330 metric tons of LPG, 345 metric tons of propane, and 3,400 barrels of pentane and stabilized condensate on a daily basis. This translates to an average daily loadout of 17 trucks of LPG, 22 trucks of propane, and delivery of methane gas into Escravos Lagos Pipeline System, ELPS, that could generate the equivalent of 367 megawatts of power per day. He noted that the facility is equipped with 8 dispensing arms and storage capacities of 2,600 and 1,550 metric tons of LPG and propane, respectively.
This obviously translates into an average daily loadout of 17 trucks of LPG, 22 trucks of propane, and delivery of methane gas into the ELPS line that could generate equivalent of 367 megawatts of power per day.
Edo State Governor, His Excellency Godwin Obaseki, said the state government and the people of Ologbo community will continue to provide the needed peaceful environment to guarantee the seamless operation of the IGHF.
But we are proud that the Oredo fields, the fields in Edo State, account for some of the largest onshore gas reserves in this country. And NNPC has thought it wise and proper to use that gas for our domestic economy. We really applaud Mr. President, the Minister, and the GMD of NNPC for this foresight.
Earlier in the pre-commissioning tour of the facility, an elated engineer Mansour Sambo, Managing Director of NPDC, told journalists that the project was executed after over 2 million man-hours with zero casualty. Sambo said the IGHF will bring significant change to NPDC's income and to the environment because it will take away substantial amount of gas that would have been flared.
We've already started selling gas. So we want to be ahead of our competitors by making the environment more conducive for people who lift gas. Before now, most of the gas lifting is from Lagos. So this will ease even the traffic congestion you have in Lagos. For businessmen, it will give them a faster turnaround time. Because before you now navigate your way from the city gate of Lagos to Apapa and load, you would have loaded a tanker from Benin and delivered it to Abuja or even further places.
Experts say that with a projected supply of 26,400 cylinders of 12.5 kilograms of LPG daily to homes in Benin and its environs, the facility will equally bridge existing supply gaps in the local LPG market. The facility is also expected to impact on Nigeria's power sector in addition to improving the fortunes of its host communities. There are nearly 350 skilled and unskilled personnel that will benefit from the facility. The federal government has restated its commitment to the rehabilitation of the nation's refineries to grow the nation's refining capacity. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timi Pre-Silva, who made this known during an interactive session with the Nigerian Guild of Editors in Abuja, said government was also partnering with private sector to build new refineries. He said the rehabilitation work of the Port Harcourt Refining Company Limited, Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company Limited, and the Kaduna Refining and Petrochemical Company was on course and will be completed within the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
I make bold to announce that the rehabilitation of Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and Warri refineries are fully on course to be delivered during the tenure of this administration.
Speaking in a similar vein, the Group Managing Director of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Malam Milikiari, assured that the corporation will continue to remain transparent and accountable to Nigerians.
We'll continue to be open and transparent to all of you
We have done many things that are hitherto matters of speculation. If you go to our website today, nnpcgroup.com, the working documents that we submit to the Federation account, we publish them. And of course, as we progress on month-by-month basis, you are also aware that our operational and financial performance is published every month. There is no company in the world that does this.
On his part, the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, noted that in spite of the challenges posed by the coronavirus pandemic, oil and gas sector has recorded a lot of milestones that will boost the economy.
A lot of change has been brought to the oil and gas industry in Nigeria in this year alone. A difficult year, a challenging year, a year of the pandemic. In the midst of all that, great things are still happening in the industry.
The president of the Nigerian Guild of Editors, Mustafa Issa, commended the NNPC for emplacing gas infrastructure backbone that will deepen domestic gas utilization, describing the GMD as a good man doing a good job.
Today is December 22nd, and there is no fuel scarcity. You know, it's tradition. But the GMD, I don't know how you did it. Please, whatever you did to get this, for this to happen, please, you continue.
The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC, has commended the Malam Mele Kyari-led management of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, for its openness and sustained progress towards accountability and meeting its obligations to the Federation in spite of the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. The chairman of the RMAFC, Engineer Elias Mbam, gave the commendation during a visit by the Group Managing Director of NNPC, Malam Mele Kyari, to the RMAFC in Abuja. He said the purpose of the meeting was for both organizations to share information, look at challenges and provide solutions that would enable the oil and gas sector to yield more revenue to the Federation account.
I'm aware that despite all difficulties, NNPC in recent time has done a lot to address these challenges. We have had a lot of challenges this year, from COVID to NSAS and so on and so forth. And I'm happy that despite all these challenges, they are still able to meet most of their expectations from their sector.
On his part, the NNPC boss said there was need for NNPC and the RMAFC, along with other relevant government institutions, to work together to tackle challenges facing the nation's oil and gas industry with a view to boosting revenues from the sector. He disclosed that the current global reality of energy transition has proved gas resources to be more viable and a revenue earner for the nation, and that NNPC was beginning to focus more on gas development to boost the nation's economy and offer maximum value to Nigerians.
Gas became very prominent in our transactions. And throughout the COVID-19 situation, the only stream of revenue that didn't have those impacts was the gas stream. Yes, it did have some shock, but clearly not as monumental as we saw in the liquids business. And that is why we have shifted our focus to gas production, Mr. Chairman, both in the domestic market and for export. This isn't compelled by COVID-19, but it is a reality of the business environment.
He said NNPC was focusing on third-party financing of oil and gas development projects, stressing that there was need for regular high-level interaction between the corporation and the RMAFC on the issue of financing, with a view to deriving maximum benefit for the over 200 million citizens of Nigeria. The transparency drive of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, yielded another positive result, with the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI, disclosing that the corporation has successfully resolved 11 out of the 20 audit issues earlier raised against it. NETI, in a statement made available to journalists, said 8 other audit queries raised against NNPC were in the process of being resolved, stressing that only one issue that has to do with the status of the Nigeria liquefied natural gas dividend account was pending. According to NATI, the issues were resolved by a joint committee on remediation and mainstreaming, which was established on 21 November 2019 by the managements of the two institutions to reconcile the 20 legacy issues. The committee recommended that NNPC should publish a statement on the status of the NLNG account. NATI listed the 11 issues which NNPC has successfully resolved to include outstanding liabilities by the Nigerian Ajib Exploration (NAE), underreporting of revenues receivable by NNPC as disclosed in the 2014 NATI report, non-compliance with the 30-day remittance rule by some crude oil and gas traders, payments of cash call to the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company (NPDC), a subsidiary of the NNPC, after the company had acquired Federation joint venture assets in the Nigeria Ajib Oil Company (NAOC) joint venture. Commenting on the joint committee's report, Executive Secretary of NATI, Mr. Waziri Adiu said, quote, "We acknowledge the significant strides towards openness by the current management of NNPC. While remediation is about looking back, mainstreaming is about looking forward." On his part, Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Malam Milikiari, said, NNPC is committed to expanding the frontiers of transparency and accountability. We believe there should be full disclosure of our transactions, not just in alignment with the EITI, but also because Nigerians need to have full visibility of our operations. We are always eager to work with NATI on this.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us on the feedback segment. My name is Abigail Ojogo. One of the core mandates of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) is to ensure availability and robust distribution of petroleum products across the country at all times. Today, from the heartbeats of the nation, we sought to know from Nigerians their experiences at getting petroleum products, especially during the Yuletide.
Because during this period, Xmas periods like this, we find it difficult to get fuel because of the queue and scarcity of fuel during Xmas periods like this. But this time, at least we can see there's fuel to buy and there's no queue around.
Well, it's not too bad. There's no scarcity. And the only thing that we will advise the federal government is to reduce the price.
No problem, nothing, no queue, nothing, everything's okay. So I appreciate like that. I'm very happy that.
It's okay, there is no queue, there is availability of fuel.
Fuel, you see fuel, normal, everything just go okay. No hold off, nothing like that. We thank you and then we thank government.
The experience is nice, there is a sufficient fuel. But what we need from the government, they should reduce the pump price.
We are getting it easily now, but not as before that we will still queue from morning to evening. But now we are getting it easy.
That product has been made available to the people. There's been free flow, no hitches.
Well, from the responses, the NNPC have been able to wet the nation with petroleum products, especially during this season of increase in the movement of people, goods and services from one place to the other. And that's the much we can accommodate. Please sit back for the next segment of the program.
Hello, good to have you join us on this segment of the program. My name is Julia Auta Ochibo. Did you know that one of the objectives of the NNPC Medical Services Limited is to operate a profitable National Health Maintenance Organization (HMO)? The NNPC HMO offers excellent health insurance services and ensures accessibility to quality health care to the Nigerian populace through customer-focused product and a vast network of providers? The mission of the NNPC HMO is to provide excellent health insurance services through customer-focused products, quality service processes, cutting-edge technology, timely claims settlement, highly trained human resources, while ensuring profitability for the benefit of all stakeholders. Some of the health insurance products of the NNPC HMO Limited include Pleasant Health, Vibrant Health, Elegant Health, Radiant Health, and Supreme Health Plans. Did you know that the core values of the NNPC HMO Limited are respect for individuals, integrity, transparency and accountability, staff growth and development of excellent professionalism? Did you also know that the NNPC HMO Limited is headed by a managing director who is also the chief executive officer? Now you know. Please sit back for Global Crude Oil Outlook.
Hello and welcome to Global Crude Oil Outlook. Oil prices dropped after an industry report showed an unexpected rise in the United States crude oil inventories. Brent crude futures were down 38 cents or 0.8% to $49.70 per barrel, while United States West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures fell 40 cents or 0.9% to $46.62 per barrel. Oil markets also remain jittery about the future recovery of demand as a new highly infectious strain of the coronavirus has hit Britain, prompting much of the world to shut down its borders to the country. Meanwhile, Market Intelligence Department of NNPC's London office reported that oil futures steadied with last-minute stimulus in the United States and continued support in Europe, still providing a bedrock of fundamental price support. The sudden halt to United Kingdom cross-border flows and the simultaneous deadlock in Brexit trade negotiations earlier this week had taken investors aback and unsettled oil markets. In London, the February Brent contract was down 83 cents and settled at $50.08 per barrel, still a decent rebound from its intraday low of $49.56 per barrel. In New York, the front-month NYMEX WTI February contract shed 95 cents and ended at $47.02 per barrel, also rebounding from its intraday low of $46.60 per barrel. The divergence between Brent time spreads and the fact that the front end of the forward curve has been flipping in and out of contango was the harbinger of a correction, experts said. And that's it on this segment of the program. I am Owigo Okolo.
That's the package for this edition and for this year. We're glad you could be with us 52 weeks unending on Oil and Gas Forum, and NNPC wishes you the best of 2021. We'll be there to keep the protocol. See you then. Bye.